Hey, welcome to this month's nervous system expansion forecast and energy frequency forecast. So this is for June 2024. June is the month that welcomes summer. When the sun is at its apex, its fullest, we're experiencing the longest days of the year. It's a month of vitality, of expansion, of expression, of coming into our fullness. So today during this live, just to give you an idea of what we're going to do, I'm going to provide you with a nervous system forecast. Essentially, what are the energies to embody this month, to stay regulated, to be in the expansion? What is the collective nervous system wanting for us to claim and bring forward? I don't know if you can hear that. The dogs are coming in from their doggy doors. So I'm going to give you that nervous system forecast. Then I'm going to provide you with an energy forecast that's going to include what's the color of the month, what does that color represent, what are the crystals and the stones to work with this month to stay grounded, to stay open, to stay inspired, to stay in that fullness of expression and expansion. And then we're going to finish. I'm going to take you through two very simple, very quick practices to embody the spirit of June, to embody that radiance, that unabashed self-expression of this month. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Ilsa. I'm a total spiritual nerd. I'm a bookworm, a dog mama. Professionally, for the last 20 years or so, I've worked as a psychotherapist, an expansion expert, and a strategist, mainly with leaders and entrepreneurs. I essentially teach my clients to rewire their nervous system, their lives, their bodies, their businesses for easeful growth and for deeply nourishing results. Without all that second guessing, without all that stressing, well, there's some stretching, but no stressing and no sabotaging. All right. At the end of this forecast, I will give you a couple ways for us to continue to work together and go deeper in that rewiring of the nervous system, in the recalibration of your energy body, so that you can have easeful and joyful expansion in yourself, in your life, and in your work, your business. So I will do that all the way at the end. All right, so let's get started. So everywhere in the Western Hemisphere, warmth is back. The days are getting longer and about to be as long as they get. Baby animals have been born and they're growing and thriving and playing and becoming themselves. As I tune into the energy of this month, the energy of June, what I get is radiance. What I get is a sense of movement, of energy, of expansion and self-expression, almost like a sense of shining bright and putting the world on notice that you are here. Like the baby cows that are kind of running all over the field, or the baby birds that are screeching for food and, spreading their wings and trying to take flight. Something that says, I am who I am. I have a right to be here. And I'm going to be the truth of who I am. So there's something in this energy of this particular June, of this particular month, that is around the no denying of our presence, the no denying of the genuine fullness of our existence and of our expression. When I sense into my body and my nervous system about kind of like what we're being called to bring forward, what this month is asking for us, what I'm receiving is kind of like an extension of last month, where we're really claiming our own aliveness, we're claiming our own radiance, and we're starting to move, operate, share from that inner brilliance. Essentially sharing ourselves and sharing what is true and being willing to be seen in that truth, in that fullness as we are. what I'm receiving here, it holds the energy of feeling safe enough to be yourself, safe enough to share your truth and to be seen in your authentic expression. So that's what this month is about, is your own innate radiance, your radiance starting to come out and be shared into the world, and your willingness to express that and to feel safe being seen in that. So I want to give you 3 questions that you can either inquire, consider, mull, or even journal around. So the first question I have is, where are you still holding back your full expression? Where are you still playing small? Are you still hiding? Are you not sharing your true self? So that's the first question. Where in your life are you holding back? You're holding back the fullness of who you are. You're holding back the fullness of your self-expression. You're still playing small. You're still hiding. You're not actually fully sharing who you are and what is true and real and most important to you and for you. Second question, how would you show up differently in your life, in your relationships, in your work? How would things change? What would become possible if you allowed yourself to be fully self-expressed? So it's almost a 2-part question, like, how would you show up differently in all these different areas of your life if you were fully self-expressed, if you allowed yourself to feel safe enough to be you and to show up as you, the truth of you? And the flip side of that, what would become possible? What would become possible in your relationship to yourself, in your relationship to the people in your life, and in your relationship to your work, and what emerges out and in your work through that self-expression? So that's the second question. And then the third question, and I want to invite you to even put like a hand on your heart and maybe a hand on your belly as you feel into this question. When you imagine being fully expressed, being seen in that fullness, in your own truth, when you imagine that, what does your nervous system, your body, all those scared, wounded parts inside you that feel small, what do they need to feel safe? What does your body, what does your nervous system, what do all these wounded parts need for you to feel safe being you, for you to feel truly safe being fully self-expressed and being fully seen in that truth? What do you need? What does your body need? What are all the young parts inside you need so that it's safe to be yourself, so that it's safe to fully show up in that fullness, in that expression, in that truth, in the world, and be seen in that? So that's the third question. Essentially, the energy of this month of June 2024 invites you to notice where you're hiding yourself and your truth. Where or when you're censoring yourself. In what ways you're playing small. In what ways are you moving and living from constriction, from repression, rather than from a place of totally trusting yourself, from a place of totally expressing yourself authentically and fully. When I sense into the response of the collective nervous system to this energy of June, what I receive is a request for something fundamental in each of us to be freed. When I sense into the collective and the nervous system of the collective, what I'm receiving here is a request for us to be unleashed, for the truth of who we are to be unleashed. Because your relationships, your work, your life, your soul, and the world needs those pieces of us to thrive. So that is the nervous system forecast and how to step into the expansion of this month. Now let's talk about energetically. When I sense into the energy of this month, into June, the word that comes, and this is not going to be a shock to you based on what I just shared, is joyful expression. There's both the sense of expanding out and sharing what is true, but there's also a sense of joy and delight in it. So this isn't just about expressing and being, oh shit, and scared. And there is something here with the flow of joy. We're expressing from joy and from delight. And there is a delight in sharing the truth of our being. So this is the art and practice of sharing who we are and what we enjoy fully. There's a sweet and vibrant energy to it. It feels fun, it feels alive, it feels creative, it feels courageous, adventurous. It feels also connected and grounded and like we belong to this world. We're sharing ourselves because we belong. So there's both the sense of delight and freedom and aliveness and creativity, and there's this sense of connectedness, of holding, of belonging. The color that came to me when I was stepping into this was a light green with maybe hues of yellow and even blue in it. It was almost like shimmering when I was in it. It wasn't like a stable color. It was like green, almost like very light green with almost yellow, but with green. Then it would move into the blues. But the underlying color was a light green, and it would shift between light green, yellow, light green, blue. When I kind of did some research on kind of the metaphysics, the energy, medicine, the psychology of that light green color, what it represents is renewal, freshness, and abundant flow. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do. If this color doesn't resonate with you, I want you even to take for a moment, and you can do this right now as we're doing this, like when you sense into the freedom of feeling completely unleashed, the freedom of trusting yourself and knowing yourself so much that that overflows out of you. The truth of who you are overflows out of you, and your life is an expression of who you are. So you're free, you're unleashed, you're expressing the truth of your being, and you feel safe doing all of that. What's the first color that comes to you when I say these words? And maybe it is that light green, and maybe it isn't. And allow yourself to trust your body, because your body knows what you need to bring that energy forward, to bring that way of being forward. All right. So now I'm going to share with you the few stones that I came up for this month. Some of them are definitely related to the color, but they're also related to what each stone, I did quite a bit of research, what each stone represents in terms of creativity, self-expression, courage, truth, connection to what's most important to us. So the first stone I want to bring to you is called chrysocolla. And this is it. It's actually quite a favorite of mine. I have quite a few pendants in it, but I'm just going to give you these two so you can see it has like this green and blue, turquoise blue and green, like different phase, different types of green in there. I don't know if the colors are right here. Let me see if you can see it better this way. And sometimes like this one has some crystals in there. So it ranges between light green to some darker green with some yellow and some dark blue in there. Chrysocolla. And if you wonder how to spell that, I actually listed these stones in the description of this video. So you can just look at the description and you will see them. So chrysocolla is a stone that calms the mind. It reduces mental tension and confusion. It offers us an ability to connect to the truth of our own desires and the truth of our being. It offers a sense of renewed strength and confidence. And it's one of the most powerful stones to use in discussions, negotiations, and creative expression because it has the sense of both calming the mind and giving us access to the truth of our own soul, so to speak. Throughout time, chrysocolla has inspired and represented creativity in a lot of different artistic realm. In ancient times, it was used by goldsmiths as solder to put gold together and create jewelry out of it. And Renaissance painters used to actually ground it down and use it in their paintings to shift the pigment and the colors. It's been known across different civilization as a talisman for creative expression and visibility and showing and bringing out what's most important. What's interesting with this stone is even though like when I say all these words, it feels like a really potent stone, it's actually a very gentle stone. So it doesn't bring self-expression forward to the surface through power or force, but actually from a deep place of calm, of groundedness, of feeling safe, clear, and inspired. Like almost like connecting us to spirit. And so that strength comes from something that is beyond us. In that way, it's not triggering to the nervous system. It's not triggering to the young parts within us that can be afraid of the fullness of that expression. It tends to promote a sense of harmony and prosperity through our self-expression. So again, the sense of harmony, of balance, of peace is at the center of this stone. So that's the first stone I have for you, chrysocolla. The second stone I have for you, I brought this for it. I think it might have been March, maybe February, maybe March. I don't know. But the other stone, the second stone I have for you is peridot. And peridot is literally one of my favorite stones. It's a very light green. It's transparent, so it's more like a crystal. Probably shouldn't have left it on my neck, but you can kind of see it. You can get a sense of it. It has that light green, maybe even a little yellow in there. I consider it to be one of the friendliest stone energetically. It brings peace, it brings happiness, it fosters a deep sense of optimism, releasing internal shame, blame, regret, essentially helping us release the past, release trauma, release anything that's going to keep us small and anything that's going to keep us from not feeling safe to be ourselves. It's also a stone that stimulates inspiration and creativity. It helps us shake off limiting beliefs and start to really anchor in what's possible for us. Peridot is one of the two gems with diamond is the other one, that actually is formed in the molten rock of the upper mantle, and it's brought to the surface of the earth through volcanoes and earthquakes. So like the intensity of the pressure brings it forward. And so it has both kind of that grounding, soothing, safe energy of the earth with the fire of creativity, expression, like just that intensity of power and courage in it. So it's a powerful stone to help us both regulate our own interaction with the external world and provide us with that balance, that protection, that we need to feel safe being ourselves within essentially any environment. So that's peridot. It's not an expensive stone. It's easily available, and I absolutely love it. I actually feel different when I wear it, both in my sense of calm and groundedness and a sense of certainty in my own being, and in a sense of confidence in my ability to come forward and express myself. And then the last stone I want to bring to you is Amazonite. I think I'm saying that correctly. Amazonite. It is a really lovely stone, very light blue and green. It has also little edges of yellow in there. And this stone really represents this month, if I'm honest. So here, I'll just show it to you a little bit more so you have a sense of it. It is a really lovely stone. It's a stone of self-love, of self-trust, of sincerity and integrity. It's a really powerful stone to use in any endeavor of communication, self-expression, including having difficult conversations, because it will help us stay true and close to what is real, what is most important, what is authentic in our expression. It's going to allow us to stay close to the truth of what we truly desire, not just what's up here. When I was doing research on it, its mantra, I found the mantra somewhere for this stone was, I speak the truth of my heart for the highest good of all. So the mantra for this stone is, I speak the truth of my heart for the highest good of all. It's the quintessential stone for this month. It is energizing as well as balancing. It's going to help you release and heal anything that is literally keeping you from being in direct connection to your highest truth and to your most authentic self, your most authentic being. Amazonite also helps balance the masculine and the feminine, bringing both emotional balance, flow, receptivity together with mental clarity and acuity, confidence, that's doing energy of self-expression. It's a great stone to use for growth and inspiration because it will both calm your nervous system while connecting you directly to your power. It's something that literally connects all the top chakras together, connects the power of your solar plexus with the truth of your heart, with the vision and the connection to your soul and to like what you're really here to be and do, and with the self-expression of the throat. So it helps you live in your truth, and it helps you express with courage, with clarity, with certainty, the truth of who you are, of what you desire. Essentially, if I had one statement for it, is it helps clear your mind of confusion, clear your heart of resistance, and it stirs your soul into inspired expression. So those are the 3 stones for this month. Like I said, I listed them in the description of this video. So if you want to know how to write them, you know how to write them. And now I'm going to take you through the 2 very simple practices I have for you this month. These 2 practices are going to help you come more fully into the power of you and the fullness of your own expression. Both of these practices are going to help you tap into your own power through your solar plexus and into your expression through your throat and into that resilience and that courage through the heart. So we're going to work with this entire area. And both of these practices are very much connected to Chinese medicine and to energy medicine. So the first practice I'm going to take you through is a little more masculine. We're going to actually use it to clear the stagnation and the blocks between your power, between your solar plexus and your self-expression, and to essentially allow the heart to connect both, to connect your self-expression and your power, so that you can speak powerfully, but from a place of love, of trust, of balance, of being directly connected to what is true and what matters most to you, so you can stay in that authenticity and that integrity. And that first practice is kind of going to take the shape of a cross, but in no way, shape, or form is it religious in any ways or associated to the cross in Christian mysticism or background. It's simply that it's more masculine because it's about activating and releasing stagnation. And then the second practice I'm going to take you through is a spiral practice. So it's a lot more feminine because it's rounded. And same thing, this feminine practice, the never-ending spiral, it's going to start bringing the flow. Now that we've removed the stagnation and we've activated all these points in our power, our self-expression, our heart, we're going to bring them into flow and into balance so that they can start to come out. And we're going to use, as we do that second practice, we're going to use some toning. So you might want to be in a place where either there's no one around or you're going to feel comfortable to actually use your voice for that second practice. So the first practice we're going to do is actually we're going to start on following the clavicle here, and we're going to move. You have all the lung points here, some really powerful points in Chinese medicine. And the lung is very much affected and connected to grief, to anger, to stored shame, to stored negative emotions that will ultimately keep us keep our nervous system in constriction. So we're going to start, you're going to take your hand like kind of crab like that, and you're going to start tapping, and you're going to move, like moving your fingers forward and back along your collarbone, right underneath it, like in the fleshy part underneath your collarbone. So you're going to start all the way kind of like where the collarbone and the shoulders meet. And then you're going to come forward in the center and then back out. And you're going to do this while you take a few deep breaths, breathing out through your mouth. Can you even breathe out like a sigh? And you're releasing any kind of residue. And if doing this with your hand closing in doesn't feel good, then move your hand this way. Kind of put your fingers like that and move all around your collarbone like you have a necklace. You're moving in the fleshy part underneath the collarbone, tapping and activating all these points, releasing as you breathe all this pent up kind of held, stagnating emotional energy around resistance, shame, anger, resentment, disappointment, grief. So let's do that for another 3 breaths. And you might even do a little like kind of massage like that. And then just put your hand there, like you're telling all these wounded parts inside you that you feel them, that you feel the shame, the resentment, the disappointment, the grief. And now we're going to move up and down. So now that we've kind of removed and kind of moved the stagnation of all these pent up emotional energy, now we're going to connect the solar plexus to the throat. And so it's very simple. Same thing, you're going to breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. You're going to take your fingers like that, your hand like that, and you're going to tap gently. You don't need to be strong with that. You're going to tap gently up and down. You're going to start at your solar plexus, kind of right underneath where your ribs end, and then you're going to move up all the way to your throat. And you're going to just keep breathing. And you're connecting the solar plexus to the heart, to the throat, the expression to the heart, to your power, and back and forth. And then you're going to come and just rest on the chest. Just tap a little bit on the chest and then connect again the points of the lungs. And then kind of do one of those where you're going up and down and then sideways as you keep breathing. And then you're going to come and you're going to rest your hand palm flat. You'll notice your thumb is on one point of the lungs, your fingers are on the other, your chest is on the heart. And then here we're going to move into the more feminine version of this practice, or the second practice. And I want to invite you to do two things here. I want to invite you to visualize the color that came to you when you were thinking of being free and safe in your own self-expression. Maybe it's my color, the color I came up with, that very light green with maybe movement of blues in there if it feels right. And maybe it's a completely different color. Whatever color you got is the color you use. And you're going to imagine like this color is pouring out of your palm, of your fingers, of your hand. And you're going to start moving in a circle about an inch or two off of your chest. And you're going to visualize the color of self-expression, of being free, of being safe to be you and to speak your truth. That color coming out of your palm and literally like imbuing your heart. And then you're going to start moving in a spiral that's going to move in front of your throat and in front of your solar plexus. And you're doing that same thing. You're visualizing the color of being free, of being self-expressed, of feeling deeply safe to be you and to speak your truth. And we're going to move in that spiral, and then the spiral comes back in front of the heart, and it moves in front of the heart, and then it opens up, and it moves in front of your throat and in front of your solar plexus, and then it comes back in front of the heart for about 3 or 4 circles, and then it reopens, maybe 3 or 4 circles in that way. And then it comes back in front of the heart, 3 and 4 circles that way. And it's literally continuing expanding and then contracting back in front of the heart and then expanding again, moving in front of your solar plexus and your throat and then contracting back. It is like your breath. Your breath are continuously expanding and contracting. And so as you're doing this, I'm going to ask you to add one last thing. I'm going to stop speaking so we can do it together. You're still breathing as you visualize the green. You're moving between your solar plexus and your throat and then back to your heart. And then you stay there for a breath or two and then back to the solar plexus and the heart. And on the out breath, I'm going to invite you to tone. So you're going to breathe in through your nose and you're going to breathe out through your mouth with a sound. And the sound could be ah, or the sound could be om. It doesn't really matter. Do what feels good. And then you're going to do at least one in front of your chest and then one in front of your solar plexus and your throat. So let's do that together, starting at the chest. Then moving to the solar plexus and the throat. Back to the chest. Om. And then back to the solar plexus and the throat. Om. And then let's do one last one in the chest. Om. And then you're going to come back with your hand on your chest. And then you might bring both hands on your chest and just take a couple deep breaths here, feeling that sense of power with that sense of being freed and being an expression, and all of that connected to your deepest truth, to your resilience, to your inspired heart, your courageous heart. And then as you're slowly coming back, I'm going to let you know how you and I can do some more work on rewiring your nervous system, recalibrating your energy, training your brain for expansion. Essentially, finding your own deeper journey into expanding out of contraction into that sense of liberation, that sense of expansion, being able to repair and reprogram your nervous system so that you can achieve, you can grow, and you can receive more with a lot more ease and a lot more enjoyment. There are two ways that we can get started, and I can support you with that. The first is that if you know you've been following me for a while, you know this is the work you need, you know that you want to work with me, then I want to invite you to just hop on a 20-minute, 25-minute enrollment call with me. We'll kind of figure out what's going on with you, where you're at in your life, what it is you want to accomplish, and we'll choose the package that best fits your need, your goals, your budgets, how you change, how you transform, whether you need more one-on-one support or less one-on-one support, whether you need accountability or not. So we'll pick exactly what makes sense for you in a very holistic manner. All the work I do includes one-on-one sessions, deep dive sessions with me. All the work I do includes weekly guided practices. And all the work I do has a component where you can be in community if you feel called to do that. Some kind of group where we practice those practices together. Working with me ranges between $1,200 and $10,000, depending on the level of support and the length of support. So if you would like to just jump right in and get started, then let's do a 20-25-minute enrollment call. And the link to book that is in the description of this video. Now, the second way you and I can get started is if you're not quite ready to jump in the deep end, to commit to working together. Maybe you're newer to me. Maybe you want to experience this work or how I work firsthand. I offer a 90-minute one-on-one intensive to everyone who's new to me at 55% off. It's my Wired for Wealth intensive. During this intensive, I essentially, through a deep dive conversation with you, figure out what are your unique nervous system wounds and blocks that are limiting your growth, that are limiting your receivership and your ability to radiate and to be in luminous leadership. And then I actually take you through my most powerful practice. It's a practice I designed myself. It's called hatching. And I called it that because it was the practice that helped me come out of my shell, essentially. And this is the most powerful process I know to bring you out of that sense of contraction back into regulation, liberation, and expansion. This session, this 90-minute session with me, which is at 55% off, comes out to $175 right now. And you'll also receive a worksheet with all the steps of this practice so that you can review it and essentially walk yourself through the practice if you want. So that's what I have for you. I hope this forecast was helpful with the practices, the stones. If it was helpful, if it was informative, transformative in some ways, then please share this. Tag a friend, share the link, let people know that it's here so that we can get more eyeballs on this and we can start both transforming our own unique nervous system, our own unique energy body, but also start to transform the collective nervous system and the collective energy of the world. All right, that's what I have for you. I am wishing you an absolutely phenomenal, expansive, joyful, filled with expression months of June. Bye.